This is Clint Long, analyzing real estate in Middle Tennessee again. Tennessee and Middle Tennessee's population, geology, and topography affect housing patterns, real estate development, and home values. These factors can cause problems with newly minted, stricter appraisal underwriting guidelines. Nashville and much of Middle Tennessee has a radial road system somewhat like the spokes of a bicycle wheel. The location of rock beneath the surface of the earth in Middle Tennessee often dictates where a road is built, where a sewer system is feasible to locate, or where septic tanks can be installed, which often require larger lots or acre. Blasting is often a necessity. Our close-up here on Nashville, it shows us the radial patterns of a lot of the interstates, roads going outside of Nashville, but we also get a look here at the topography. And we're going to be looking here in a few seconds up here at the north and northwest section. You can see a little bit of the elevation of the topography here. Here we're at the edge of downtown Nashville, looking toward the north and northwest. We can see Briley Parkway coming around there. Pulling, you can see the density of the residential development here, but north of Briley Parkway up here we start to see the hills, and you can see how the roads snake through the valleys, path of least resistance. And off these roads you can see roads going into other developments. The same way over here, that's Clarksville Highway. And it's very normal if we're looking at residential developments here, a road that runs beside the hills and the ridges. Up here the same thing, a road coming off of Clarksville Highway, and you find that throughout Middle Tennessee. Now we visit Murfreesboro in Rutherford County, approximately 25 to 30 miles to the southeast of Nashville. And you can see some pretty good density there around downtown Murfreesboro. Rutherford County has about 249,000 population, one of the fastest growing counties in Middle Tennessee. But you also see a lot of farmland on the periphery of the area, pockets of subdivisions, housing coming into focus. But in the southwest we also see a lot of steep topography, and you can tell the roads don't have near as many houses there, much lower density. This video clip on Tennessee and Middle Tennessee complements our Google Earth video on Tennessee's population, geology, topography, and how it affects housing patterns, real estate development, and home values. Tennessee has an elongated shape. It's approximately 491 miles long, 115 miles wide. Looking at this map, it's the width is actually the top to bottom. There's almost 6 million people in Tennessee, and it's the 16th largest state in the United States. Tennessee is said to have 3 grand divisions: west with Memphis, middle with Nashville, and east with Chattanooga, Knoxville, and the Tri-Cities area is a pretty good sized area. West Tennessee is basically flat. Middle Tennessee is hilly, rolling, some flat land, and a lot of steep topography. East Tennessee has the mountains, valleys, it's hilly, and has steep topography. Here's a map of Middle Tennessee showing the populations of the color-coded counties, with Davidson County having around 626,000 people. Rutherford County is the second largest, 249,000 people. And anyone interested could pause their video now and get a little better feel for the population of these counties. Here's a map of the multiple listing area of Middle Tennessee, which includes 2 counties in Kentucky and a multiple listing area for a number for northern Alabama. The Area circled by red is our primary appraisal area. Area circled by blue is our secondary appraisal area. We also do a little bit in Moore County, some in Franklin County, Winchester. Here we have a list of the SMSA counties, Standard Metropolitan Statistical Area, and here's a list of the counties and the population of each county. Here's a single family home sales prices by county, showing a median price of the homes in each county. Let's look at the rock quotient in a new subdivision in Middle Tennessee, just a few miles south of Nashville. This type developing with extensive rock is common. We have a beautiful entry to the subdivision showing some new homes, and then in the rear of the development an expansive area of rock and the high dollar equipment that it takes to move the rock. Let's take a few minutes for a shortened version of lender appraisal underwriting. Teaching real estate finance in the Nashville area for 10 years from 1978 to 1988, plus teaching appraisal courses for a 5 or 6 year period after that, gave me a good foundation on Fannie Mae and FHA underwriting. Let's look at an investor's underwriting checklist that I found on the internet. For the sake of shortness, we'll only look at 2 areas. Lender expectations. Lender brokers are encouraged to use the resources available to determine market trends and public record data. We're going to talk about CoreLogic and Zillow. Zillow wasn't on this list. Number 4, question, are the comparable sales more than 90 days old and no current listing or pending sale provided? In a soft market, investor wants a minimum of 2 arm's length MLS verified sales within 90 days, and at least 1 current listing or pending sale must be provided. In an area with our radial transportation system, that's a real problem. Now, what does Fannie Mae say? Number 1, they say that generally the appraiser should use comparable sales that have been settled or closed within the last 12 months. Fannie Mae is saying that if the sale is more than 6 months old, then we should explain why we used it. Now we'll go to a property I appraised in Franklin, Tennessee, and the loan originator sent an email where the underwriter was wanting to know why we didn't use more recent comps, and they gave us a list of 4 different comps that they had found on Zillow and History Pro. Interestingly enough, I had a recent call from a mortgage broker. Told me she had comped a house on Zillow and it was valued at $170,000. Comped the same house on CoreLogic, which is History Pro, and it was valued at $125,000. Problem is, these 2 sources don't understand the problems, mistakes that we find with tax assessor and MLS, the external influences, the industrial parks, poor housing patterns close by, and they have little clue about the condition of the comparables. Now, looking at the second page of this appraisal on a property in Franklin, we had 3 comparables, and the adjusted comparables came out with the estimated adjusted sales prices of $347,000, $332,000, $339,000. Now the question is, why did we use these 3 comparables? In answer to the underwriters, we provided an addendum with a lot of print screens showing how we searched the area. The comparables came from the specific section of the Fieldstone Farms neighborhood. When I went on Zillow, it said that there was 450 houses in the neighborhood. I'm very familiar with the neighborhood. There's over 2,000 houses. We pointed out that the comparables they asked us about was in a different section, different age, different condition properties. Even more recent comparables over in the high end of the same subdivision were up in the $600,000-700,000 price range. They were more recent and they were also inappropriate, and this was enough to satisfy the underwriter.